Remarkably and pretty unbelievably, man, Joe Biden is still president of the United States. And as hard as that is to believe, even harder to believe than that, he's still running to remain president for another 4 years. I mean, just think about that. As bad as things are now, as much as we failed as a country, as bad as the Democrat civil war is getting right now, these people are delusional enough to think that what we need is another 4 years of that. I mean, Joe Biden, he's trying to save his campaign. He's trying to save his presidency. And of course, to do that, he does what any good leftist would do. And he gave a phone interview to the only people in the media who are still working hard to gaslight on his behalf, the complete and total crazy people on MSNBC at the Morning Joe, right? And I'll get into that in a moment. But guys, first, not all media is digging so deep anymore to try to save Joe Biden. Some of them are actually just trying to save themselves.
Many Democratic officials with whom I've spoken are worried that President Biden and his family and his inner circle appear to be in complete denial, not just about whatever might be wrong with him, but the state of his candidacy right now.
Did you ever watch the debate afterwards?
I don't think I did, no.
He doesn't think he did? After facing increasing pressure to demonstrate in public an ability to take questions and respond cogently for a lengthy period of time live about what he wants to do with the United States, his message, his plans, his policies, the president and his team have not held a press conference to demonstrate just that. He continues to do what he has done sparingly in the past, a short tape sit down with an anchor, in this case, George Stephanopoulos of ABC News. But before the president did that, he called into a couple of black radio stations where he said, among other things, this.
By the way, I'm proud to be, as I said, the first vice president, first black woman, served with a black president. I'm proud of the first black woman in the Supreme Court. There's just so much that we can do because together there's nothing. Look, this is the United States of America.
He's proud to be the first black woman. Not coherent. And even then, we later found out, from the radio host, that the Biden campaign had given her a list of questions to ask President Biden. That is a huge no-no in journalism, and the host was fired for it, but it remains quite telling that in the Biden campaign's efforts to show that the president has not missed a step, his campaign felt the need to feed questions to the hosts for a call-in radio interview. And the president still, even then, failed to deliver in many of his answers. Now, many elected Democrats are expressing concern about this answer, too, although it was quite coherent. George Stephanopoulos asking him how he would feel if he ultimately loses to Donald Trump, which polls have suggested he will.
I feel as long as I gave it my all and I did the goodest job as I know I can do, that's what this is about.
As long as he gave it his all and did the goodest job he could do.
Come on, man. It is so hard to even try to take these people seriously. I mean, part of me, I'm glad that they're actually finally doing their job. They're finally actually covering things the way they're kind of actually happening. But if you look close and if you listen close, they're not really doing that at all. I mean, Joe Biden, he's in a full court press right now to save himself. And the campaign is literally giving questions to random radio hosts in advance. I mean, that should be the massive story on Jake Tapper here. That should be the massive story. That shouldn't be just something that's mentioned in passing. I mean, they're doing a media blitz to prove to the American people that the president's brain still works. And to do that, they feel that they have to script it. In fact, they do. And for it to even have half a chance of working, they have to script it. That's the massive story. I mean, how that's not the massive story, I have no idea. They just barely brush over it. But it's important to make it a point. Another important point to make is it's the fact that if these people actually believe that democracy was in any kind of danger, that Donald Trump must be stopped, that the future is on the ballot, or whatever garbage they say they believe, if they really believe that the future was on the ballot, then Joe Biden would not be. Joe Biden would not be on the ballot. They don't actually believe any of that stuff. But if you listen to insane leftists, they do believe that Joe saved his campaign and silenced a Democrat mutiny by appearing on the Morning Joe. But I mean, just ask yourself this, man. If they scripted their appearances with random small town radio hosts, what do you think that they did with the people that have actually known and protected this guy for decades. I mean, obviously, I'm going to show you exactly what they did in a minute, guys. But first, if you're enjoying this content, make sure to like, make sure to hit the subscribe button. It really, really does go a long way to helping us reach more people.
Of the United States and presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden calling in to Morning Joe right now. Good morning, sir.
Hey, Mika, I'm more than presumptive. I'm going to be the Democratic nominee. The fact of the matter is, I use some prompters too. I don't get that. But at any rate, the bottom line here is that we're not going anywhere. I am not going anywhere. I wouldn't be running if I didn't absolutely believe that I am the best candidate to beat Donald Trump in 2024. The American public is not going to move away from me as an average voter. And again, I'm here for two reasons, pal. One, to rebuild the economy for hardworking middle-class people, give everybody a shot, just a straight shot. Everybody gets a fair chance, number one. Number two, remember all this talk about how I don't have the black support? Come on, give me a break. Come with me. Watch. I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party who they know so much more. But if any of these guys don't think I should run against me, go ahead, announce for president. Challenge me at the convention.
You know, you got to hand it to him, man. That's actually a pretty good idea from Joe Biden. And you know what? I mean, that's probably exactly what they're going to end up doing. They're probably going to end up primarying the guy right there in a contested convention. But just listen to these people, man. Listen to what is acceptable to them. I mean, Joe Biden says he's running for a second term to build an economy where everybody gets a shot. He's yelling into his phone. But we've already heard this story before, man. Apparently his first term was supposed to be about building an economy from the bottom up and the middle out. Never explained what that meant, never did it. And he also told us dozens and dozens of times that, Bidenomics is working. But I think you'll probably notice they don't even call it that anymore. They do not call the economy Bidenomics. And if it was working, they wouldn't be trying to quietly take the president's name off of the economy, but they are. That's exactly what they're doing. They want to hide his economic performance almost as much as they want to hide the guy himself, but they can't because we're now on year 2 or 3 of Joe Biden just repeating, watch me. And now people finally do want to actually watch him.
Mr. President, if anybody in my family had a night like that, like if my Joe had a night like that, or my kids or anybody, I'd probably want to do some sort of workup and medical workup and make sure he's okay. Have you been tested for any age-related illnesses, pre-Parkinson's, or anything like that that might explain sort of having a night like that where you couldn't finish sentences?
Look, I was feeling so badly before the debate. When I came back, they tested me for, I thought maybe I had COVID, maybe there was something wrong. I had an infection or something. They tested me, they gave me those tests, I was clear. So, but look, I had a bad night. But the fact of the matter is, look at what I'm doing. I mean, let me put it this way. If there was something that was wrong that night, it's not like it comes and that's one night and it goes away. That's why I've been out. I've been testing myself, been testing everywhere I go, going out and making the case. The night of that debate, I went out. I was out till 2 o'clock in the morning that very night. It drives me nuts, people talking about this. That very night, I was talking to large crowds. Look at the crowds we've gathered everywhere from Atlanta to North Carolina to Pennsylvania, and look at the enthusiasm. But it was right after. And where the hell's Trump been? What has Trump said or done except deny and lie about what he's for?
Isn't it funny, man? That's all they keep saying. What has Donald Trump said? What has Donald Trump done? They're trying to say the fact that Donald Trump isn't campaigning or isn't really out there while the world is literally watching a Democrat civil war. They're trying to say that somehow that's evidence of, I don't know what, that Trump is tired or old or senile or whatever they're trying to get at. But it's pretty simple, man. Donald Trump is doing exactly what any smart tactician should do. In fact, whoever is guiding him to just shut up and watch deserves a raise, because it's Sun Tzu 101. Never interrupt your opponent while he's in the middle of making a mistake. And in the time that Donald Trump has decided to just sit back and watch, Joe Biden has given scripted interviews and gotten caught for it. He's rambled on the Morning Joe. He's talked about being the first black female vice president. He told George Stephanopoulos he's doing the goodest job that he can, and he's dodged questions about Parkinson's on the Morning Joe, where Mika should have at least had the journalistic integrity to at least ask him about the visitor logs that show his own doctor visiting with Parkinson's experts. But of course, she's not going to do that.
Okay, so you have repeatedly said that all of these people and entities are wrong. And let me go through them. The New York Times editorial board, The Economist, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the Boston Globe, Jerry Nadler, Seth Moulton. Let me go to Julian Castro, Tim Ryan, David Axelrod, David Remnick, Richard Haas. Yeah, I know which one you're responding to there. Zeke Emanuel. But they're saying that you should step aside. So what is your plan of attack moving forward? These are pretty big names.
To go out and keep doing their big names, but I don't care what those big names think. They're wrong in 2020. They're wrong in 2022 about the red wave. They're wrong in 2024. And come out with me. Watch people react. You make a judgment. You make a judgment.
Well, we are going to make that judgment for sure. But guys, how hilarious is it to hear Joe Biden talking about Democrat Party elites? I mean, these are the same people that rigged 2020 in his favor to defeat Bernie. The same people who rigged 2024 in his favor to basically exiled a Kennedy from the Democrat Party to do it. The same elites that have literally protected him, protected his son, protected his brother, protected his wife. I mean, the same elites that literally burned down the world to get his daughter's diary back. I mean, all the way back to the same people that pressured Obama to make a racist, segregationist moron vice president in the first place. Joe Biden owes literally every dime he's ever grifted to these elites. But here he is doing his Man of the People Defiance Act. I mean, it's pretty remarkable stuff when you look at it. He thinks he can hold it all together, but I mean, the problem I think that he's going to have is you're really only ever as strong as your weakest diversity hire.
What they have done. To be more clear, George W. Bush and also President Obama. So we've been.
One did let his daughters come to the briefing room to speak to us.
Okay, and we know what that last president said from this briefing room. Okay, so and only did three or four paragraphs. Very different approach.
That's a very basic, direct question.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a second.
Eight times, or at least once, in regards to the president specifically.
Hold on a second.
That's what you should be able to answer by this point.
Wait, no. No, wait a minute. Ed, please. A little respect here, please. So every year.
She's coming apart, man. I feel. You guys give me a hard time for saying this, but I do feel bad for her, man. And she has no idea what she's doing. She's literally dedicated her life, basically her entire life, to protecting a senile, failing mess of a president. She's been controlled, man, by radical agenda and literally radical agenda only. She has dedicated her life to a guy that was a racist degenerate even on his very best days, however long ago those were. And now she wants to stall and she wants to demand respect. I mean, she sounds like she wants to say, guys, we're all on the same team here, but they're not. They're not anymore. They used to be, but the media is playing for team media right now. They are trying to save themselves.
That's a very basic, direct question.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a second.
Eight times, or at least once, in regards to the president specifically.
Hold on a second.
That's what you should be able to answer by this point.
Wait, no. No, wait a minute. Ed, please. A little respect here, please. So every year, around the president's physical examination, he sees a neurologist. That's 3 times, right? So I am telling you that he has seen a neurologist 3 times while he has been in this presidency. That's what I'm saying. I am telling you that he has seen them 3 times. That is what I'm sharing with you, right? So every time he has a physical, he has had to see a neurologist. So that is answering that question.
No, it's not.
No, it is. It is. You're asking me. I also said to you, Ed, I also said to you, for security reasons, we cannot share names. We cannot share names.
You cannot
we
share
have
names
to. We have
of
to.
Others he would have met with.
We
But
cannot.
You can share names in regards to if someone came here in regards to the president.
We cannot share names of specialists broadly, from a dermatologist to a neurologist. We cannot share names. There are security reasons. We have to protect.
It's public.
I understand that.
I hear you. Right there for anyone to see.
Ed, I hear you. I cannot from here confirm any of that because we have to keep their privacy. I think they would appreciate that too. We have to give them.
The doctor.
We have to we have to keep their privacy.
It is public.
It's public information.
I hear you.
And you're going to allow this to fester longer, Karina, unless the White House answers the question.
Hold on a second. There's no reason to go back and forth and be in this aggressive way.
Miffed around here about how information's been shared with the press corps around here.
What are you missed about? What are you missed about?
Everything he just asked about.
And then every time I come back and I answer the question that you guys asked.
Correctly, didn't have to come back and clean up.
I never answered the question incorrectly. That is not true. I was asked about a medical exam. I was asked about a physical. That was in the line of question that I answered. And I said, no, he did not have a medical exam. And I still stand by that. Matter of fact, the president still stands by that. He had a verbal check-in. That is something that the president has a couple times a week. A couple times a week.
Now in regards to Dr. Kevin Kennard.
And I am telling you right now that I am not sharing confirming names from here. It is the security reasons. I am not going to do that, Ed. It doesn't matter how hard you push me. It doesn't matter how angry you get with me. I'm not going to confirm a name. It doesn't matter if it's even in the log. I am not going to do that from here. That is not something I am going to do. What I can share with you is that the president has seen a neurologist for his physical 3 times. 3 times. And it is in the reporting that we share a comprehensive reporting. Matter of fact, it's more than what the last guy shared, and it is in line with what George W. Bush did. It's in line with what Obama did. And so it is comprehensive. It is out there. I just read a quote from it, but I am not going to devolve somebody's name or confirm someone. I'm not going to do that. That is as privacy for that person. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't matter how hard you push me. It doesn't matter how angry you get with me from here. I'm just not going to do that. It is inappropriate. It is not acceptable. So I'm not going to do it.
No. I had to just let that run a little bit, man. Finally, the media is waking up a little bit. But look at what it takes to get these people to actually do their jobs during a Democrat administration. I mean, just a little perspective, what KJP just had to deal with there was basically almost, it took 4 years into a failed, terrible presidency for them to hold her to this. I mean, but that's how Donald Trump's press secretaries were treated daily. I mean, literally daily on each and every single stupid topic. But this is what it takes to make this White House press corps push. I mean, it takes a president that over 70% of the country believes that he's leading the free world without a working brain. And you got to wonder, man, I mean, are some of the people in the press corps or press corps, as Obama would say, are they really this stupid? I mean, did they really, really believe that the White House has been telling them the truth the whole time? I mean, it's hard to tell as you watch a lot of these people. It's hard to tell. Are they the gaslighters or were they actually gaslit like the rest of us? Because some of these people actually seem pretty pissed off. They seem like they really, really didn't see this coming, but it's hard to feel bad for them. If they really were that naive, then they should have never, ever been there in the first place. But it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they are that dumb. I really do not know, but I do know that there are 2 people that I can almost guarantee you they knew everything that was going on all along. They've been part of the grift, part of the cover-up. They've literally sold their souls for agenda and propaganda. And now here they are doing their best to ensure that whatever happens to Joe, that agenda is not threatened.
All right, welcome back. President Biden on the offensive this morning, talking to a morning television show just a short while ago, defending his right to run for a second term, even challenging members of his own party to a convention floor fight. Let's bring in Vanity Fair special correspondent Brian Stelter. He's with us right now. Brian, I'm guessing as a studious observer of morning television, that's an understatement on your part. You probably saw what the president said just a short while ago. How stunned are you that Joe Biden is saying to these nervous Democrats out there, hey, if you've got a problem, challenge me at the convention?
Yeah, I saw one reporter from Semaphore saying Biden's offering a murder-suicide pact. He's saying, if you try to take me out, you're going to take all of us out. And I think that is an accurate assessment of this incredible moment we're in, Jim. It does make a lot of sense, though, to have Biden working the phones, doing more interviews. This is what people were calling for a week ago. They were saying, why isn't he working the phones? Why isn't he calling into television and radio shows? That ABC interview last Friday night, it was relatively low rated. It did not, change the calculus, did not change the dynamic of this race or the situation for Biden. So he's being more aggressive today with this letter, with this phone call, maybe with other interviews in the coming hours, trying to change the dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, and it was, it was a little bit of a page out of Donald Trump's playbook, calling into a morning show this morning.
Yes, I think we should recognize that. I don't want to use the phrase Trumpian and go down that path as an insult, because it's not meant always as an insult. It's a recognition that certain political tactics that worked for Donald Trump might also work for other politicians.
It is so hard to watch these two guys together and even listen to a word that they're saying. It's almost impossible. It may be impossible to take them seriously, but just listen to what they're actually saying, man. They're talking to the media one-on-one, pushing back, defending yourself, using your own efforts instead of party propagandists. That's apparently considered Trumpian. And Brian Stelter says that that's not an insult. It's a good thing. But here's the thing. It's a little late in the game for Joe Biden to be Trumpian. I mean, he had the opportunity. He absolutely could have secured the border, could have stood up to China, could have stood up to all the warring factions all over the world and actually put America first. I mean, that would have been Trumpian. And honestly, if he had done it, if he had just kept just not even half a dozen Trump policies intact, he could have probably hidden in his basement the entire freaking time and actually looked like the president that he's working so hard to convince us that he is. But it's too late for that, man. It's too late for that. Now he has to rely on the only thing that he's ever been good at, not being Donald Trump. And that's actually, I think this time around, that is actually going to be a real liability. Not being Donald Trump is probably not what people are looking for this time around. But that's just my take, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.